My name is Marco, and my job is writing tourist guides. It's a job I like. I like discovering new places, getting to know their colors, their tastes, and the people who live there. I like setting off. And today I'm setting off for the Abruzzi. I have to write a guide to the natural attractions of the area between the rivers Trigno and Sinello in the province of Chieti. I've never been, which is why I can't wait to get there. My journey starts here, from the mountains where the river Sinello rises, from the medieval villages that overlook its valley, the 8 communes that make up the Alto Vastese. And it is here, on the outskirts of one of them, Castiglione Messer Marino, that the Sinello rises 1,300 meters above the sea level. The river Treste also rises among these mountains, flows down the valley, and joins the Trigno. It is the presence of these watercourses that makes the area so rich in vegetation, full of the greenest woods. Like the one I cross rising towards the summit of Monte Pizzuto, near Schiavi di Abruzzo, at 1,260 meters. From here, not only can you enjoy an incredible view, but also an unbelievable feeling of peace. Only 10 kilometers from Monte Pizzuto, in Castiglione Messer Marino, I meet Raffaele, who takes me to visit a luxuriant woods, the Selva Grande Fir Wood. It is an area of 550 hectares, covered largely by silver firs mixed with beeches and other species like maple, yew, and lime. Raffaele tells me the silver fir is a majestic thin tree, and given its notable height, on average 30 meters, it has been nicknamed the Prince of the Woods. And still near Castiglione Messer Marino, at the feet of the evocatively named mountain Lupara, which means shotgun, Raffaele points out the church of Santa Maria del Monte, rebuilt around the middle of the last century on the ruins of a Franciscan monastery. It is a magical place, a place to stop and have a break. So I decide to lose myself in a long trek through the woods where the beech, maple, lime, and Scotch elm are only some of the species I might come across. Continuing in the direction of the sea, I am struck by how, in this area of the Vastese, the houses blend in with the landscape, following the lines of the hills and mountains. This is how Roccavecchia was once, an ancient medieval community at 1,145 meters above sea level, overlooking the commune of Rocca Spinalvedi. I get there after a climb that is as steep as it is evocative along the ridge of the mountain, and I have to admit it was really worth the effort. Here the ruins of the houses mingle now with the rocks of the mountain. A mountain not unlike Monte Sorbo, not far from here, with its 906-meter peak and where, in appearance, the vegetation seems to be Mediterranean. In particular, the downy oak, turkey oak, hop hornbeam, and maple, while the luxuriant undergrowth is characterized by the presence of various species of wild orchids. Or Montefredo, near Palmoli, which is also characterized by a vegetation that is typical of the Mediterranean bush, enriched by the presence of Mediterranean beech trees and rare species of flora such as the Valencia coronilla. I continue my journey in the direction of the sea and cross the woods that cover the hills between Torre Bruna and Carunchio. Woods that are rich in truffles. Here they are called the Black Diamonds of the Abruzzi, and in August, Torre Bruna dedicates an important celebration to them, the Feast of the Truffle King. And at dusk, I have an appointment with Carmine and Luna in the hope of being able to find some. We were lucky. Tonight, Carmine will let me try some excellent tagliatelle with truffle. And all the credit is all hers. This evening, Luna will have to settle for a bone. In these settings, the work of nature often meets with the work of man. As at Fraine, where the sanctuary Mater Domini is crowned by the great woods of turkey oak and beech trees of Vicenne, that higher up gives way to the pastures where the cows and sheep of the local farms graze, animals that produce excellent cheeses. And here is the cattle track along which at one time the herdsmen led their flocks to winter in Puglia, in front of Torre della Fara. In ancient times this was a watchtower. Today it is home to a large colony of rooks. and after so much peace and solitude, I have a meeting with Nicola, a member of the Italian Mountaineering Club, who takes me with him to the Cacavone Gorge, a spectacular canyon you find going down from the village of Celenza sul Trigno, in the direction of the river. In particular, Nicola takes me to the Fisca, a high wall with a sheer drop that is used by climbers for training. He would like me to climb with him, but I prudently prefer to stay and watch him from here. Having left Nicola and the mountains behind, I continue my journey following the course of the river. Here the impetus of the river diminishes. The waters of the Sinello, Trest, and Trigno proceed peacefully through the hills of the Medio Vastese, almost until they reach the sea. Waters rich in fish like barbels, chub, carp, fario trout, and catfish. And on the riverbanks grow poplars, willows, and robinia. Waters that run through uncontaminated spots, isolated and harsh, which in the past attracted religious communities looking for God. And it's on the banks of the Trest that the sanctuary of the Archangel Michael rises. The small cave inside it is at the center of the legend that tells of a herdsman who, following a young bullock that disappeared every day, found it kneeling at the spring in front of the Archangel Michael. Approaching the sea, the landscape changes and man's presence becomes evident. Vineyards, orchards, and artichoke farms take their place beside the olive groves. But at only a couple of miles from its mouth, the Sinello enters the regional nature reserve of the Don Venanzio Woods, and once more nature turns wild. The reserve was born in 1999 to defend this strip of forest in the river's valley. Here I meet Mario, for whom this place holds no secrets.
Qui in particolare si estendeva il bosco della Crivella, così l'antico nome della località e anche del bosco, che aveva un'estensione di diverse centinaia di ettari, poi purtroppo tagliato per ricavarne traversine per la costruzione della ferrovia adriatica, e quindi ciò che rimane sono circa 10 ettari, la parte più integrale delle antiche foreste. La peculiarità più interessante è proprio l'aspetto che ritroviamo qui a circa 30 metri sul livello del mare di una vegetazione tipica montana, quindi ciò che potremmo trovare in una faggeta a 1000 metri di quota lo troviamo qui.
And in fact, here we find typically mountainous plant species: the snowdrop, the Apennine anemone, the St. Nicholas, and the red lily that flowers around June. Another characteristic of this reserve is the presence of an unusual species of oak, the English oak.
La faria è la specie più importante del bosco di Don Venanzio, è una quercia tipica delle pianure e le caratteristiche principali sono un po' le foglie, diverse un po' dalle altre querce, perché sono grandi a ventaglio, lisce, oltre poi al tronco abbastanza liscio rispetto alle altre querce comuni che comunque troviamo qui, come la roverella o il cerro.
Mario also explains to me that apart from its numerous species of plants, the inland areas of the Vastese also house the largest colony of red kites in the mainland south, as well as numerous mammals.
Il cinghiale, che ormai è diventato comunissimo, al tasso, alla volpe, ma soprattutto è da ricordare la presenza recente del capriolo, che ha ricolonizzato, diciamo così, anche le zone, le quote più basse.
Unfortunately, all there was to see was a small fox, but this is a good reason to return. By now the sea is near. You can see it in the wind and feel it in the air. And then finally the sea. It is here in this stretch of coast in front of Casal Bordino where, having traveled about 50 kilometers, the Sinello flows into the sea. It is an important area from the point of view of nature, as are the nearby sand dunes. Continuing along the coast heading south, we enter the regional natural park of Punta Aderci. From the beach of Motta Grossa at Punta Aderci to the dunes of Punta Penna, the park extends for 400 hectares and 3 miles of coast. To arrive then, continuing down, to the equally important marine reserve of Vasto and the Mediterranean botanical gardens of San Salvo, close to the border with Molise. The vegetation here is unusual. Various species of birds nest here, and the environment suits the European pond terrapin. More precisely,
La fauna è soprattutto quella ornitica, gli uccelli di passo in primavera e in autunno, si possono vedere cose interessanti, da rapaci a limicoli a trampolieri. Per quanto riguarda la flora c'è soprattutto un ambiente dunale integro, in notevole accrescimento, con tutta la varia successione vegetazionale tipica di una spiaggia dunale ancora integra.
this is Stefano, a real expert on the environment of sand dunes. From San Salvo, Stefano, he takes me to the regional natural park of Punta d'Erci that has a bird as its symbol, the Kentish plover.
Il fratino è il simbolo della riserva, è un uccello strettamente legato all'ambiente dunale e quindi è anche un preziosissimo indicatore biologico dello stato di salute dell'ambiente dunale. Dove il fratino nidifica vuol dire che le dune ci sono ancora, vuol dire che il mare non mangia la costa, vuol dire alla fine, in definitiva, che si possono ancora fare degli ottimi bagni.
And he also explains to me why the dunes are so important.
Ma le dune sono importanti perché dal punto di vista vegetazionale sono un vero e proprio deserto che vive, mentre l'albero ha una bellissima presenza statica, le dune devono muoversi in continuazione come degli esseri camminanti e pensanti quasi, per poter vincere un ambiente estremamente duro a livello di temperatura, a livello di calpestio delle persone quando questo si verifica, a livello di vento che viene dal mare, e quindi sono piante che hanno sviluppato delle caratteristiche molto particolari che le rendono molto interessanti e in primavera hanno delle fioriture bellissime e veramente inaspettate per un posto di mare.
But there are lots of other things I can do here.
Questo territorio offre la possibilità di fare vari tipi di turismi, da quello naturalistico a quello che ama più le spiagge di sassi e le scogliere fra la riserva di Punta d'Erci e Vasto Marina, a quello attrezzato, diciamo così, sulle spiagge di Casalbordino, sulla spiaggia di Vasto Marina e su quella di San Salvo Marina.
And between one beach and another, the Trabocchi, strange fishing equipment that allow dry fishing by dropping and raising a large squared net with ropes and pulleys. And naturally, this is not the only way to fish. You can also go out in a boat like Anna Maria has been doing for 60 years.
Sono nata il 1 gennaio 1936. Ho 74 anni compiuti, 75 a gennaio. Avevo 14 anni quando mio padre mi ha lasciato la barca, perché lui lavorava a Termolo con un'altra barca. E io andavo a ritirare le nasse da sola, a remi. E poi mia madre pensava a vendere quel pochino di pesca che si faceva, che poi non è che si riusciva a vendere, che allora i soldi non c'erano. Peschiamo qualche spigolo, un po' di sogliole, panocchie, cicale, non lo so come si può dire, qualche razza, dipende dalla stagione. Quando non vado a mare faccio le lunghe passeggiate lungo la spiaggia, sempre per il mare. E qui prima non c'era la strada, il lungomare niente la strada, era tutta sabbia. E le case ce ne stavano 2 o 3, a me mi piace.
And with the words of Anna Maria, her sunburnt face and her clear eyes, I end my journey. In the guide, I will write that whoever is seeking breathtaking views and uncontaminated nature, somewhere to walk or simply rest immersed in silence, has to come here to this part of the Abruzzi, between the rivers Trigno and Sinello. But above all, I will write that whoever comes here cannot but feel love at first visit.